Shalom Aleichem, welcome to class. I'm Rabbi Dr. Oluwafemi. Today we are addressing the biblical Greek and just a continuation of the previous lesson, and that is the Greek verbs in the future indicative. So we are able to address a good number of things on that particular subject. Then we talked about the construction, that's the introduction of the sigma, and when it's being introduced, that it takes a particular form. But when it comes to the exceptions that we have, that's the exceptions to the sigma. That's like below becoming below, just the omission of the lambda and rest. So that's what we're able to address in the previous lesson. So sorry if I couldn't finish that particular portion due to space. However, today in the class, I will highlight 2 or 3 other words where you can see that particular omission. Then we have the last part, which is the exercises on this particular course, which is the Greek verbs in the future indicative. So let's have a few words. We have ek, balete, excuse me. And we have another one. We have so you can also add this. Now we have this particular words. This ek balete, eu rev says, and we have array. Now these are 3 different questions. Yeah. When you see this is to show a question mark. So in Greek, this represents a question mark. So in other words, this particular statement has become a question, not just phrase. So there's a question here, there's another question, and this is another question. So now let's start with the first. This ek balete. Passing it, conjugating the verb, we have ek, ete, which means you, plural. And the second person plural for the ending of the future indicative. Then we have ekbal. So ekbal is the abbreviation of ek balo. In other words, when this one is seen this way, then that shows there has been the introduction of sigma, which has definitely erased one lambda. So then it becomes ekbar. So that shows it's in the future indicative. So that's out, throw out. Balo means I throw, and then ek means out of. That's preposition, so that attached, prefixed to that particular word. So it means throw out. So now, because of the question mark that we have here, so instead of just writing you will throw out, it becomes a question. So then it becomes will you throw out, because of this particular sign. So it becomes will you throw out. So that's why I'm very, very conscious of this when we address Greek, because This symbol represents question mark. So it becomes will you throw out as question mark. So this means will you throw out? That's will you throw out. All right. So then we have el race, says. So and it means there's the ending. It talks about you. Okay, let's address the first. So I will run up with this question mark. So that means will. That's question mark. So ace is you singular. That's will you singular. Then we are signal string will, and then el rey. El rey is the past, or is the Arabic, is the final structure of the word eu resco. So now we talk about when we have sigma introduced, that we have some exceptional cases where instead of it to have it as the normal rule, then it turns the particular word. So these have been turned, and then we have been able to omit some certain letters there. So this is the final product of the social indicative of Euresco. That's Euresco means I find. So with this, we have this way that shows will find. So then it becomes will you find? Will you find a question mark? Will you find? Yeah. Then lastly we have array. Now array, there's a question mark, so it becomes will add question mark. Now for this is the first person, the third person singular is either he or she or it. So let's put he or she. Yeah. And finally we have r. Now this r, this is the byproduct, the final product from the combination or the introduction of sigma. Let's check the last teaching. So that's changed. So initially the word is Lego, or by the time sigma is introduced, then it changed to arrow. So now we have array. So it means will he speak or say? Will he say or will he speak? That's question mark. That's array. Will he speak? So don't forget about the punctuation mark, which is the question mark. Yeah. So that's will he speak or will she speak? Then we have you, Ray, say. That is will you find? And the first is ek balete. Ek balete. That is will you throw out, or will you cast out, or will you drive out, depending on the embraced or chosen word in translation. So this is another form of the formation that we have. Now, as I wrap up this teaching, let's move to some exercises, at least 4 exercises on the Greek verbs, future indicatives, so as to wrap up the teaching, then move to the next topic. All right, so let's the exercise. Translate to English. So this short sentence, that's pem pisei to pneuma to agion. Pem pisei to pneuma to agion. Now we have this as the future tense. So now this reads from this is the ending of the that's the third person singular. That's he or she. So let's use he. He. So he. This becomes this has been worked on from the word pempo when introduction of a sigma become pem ise. So that becomes will. That's will. Then pemp means send. So he will send. Now, so it's an article, mention article. That's the now pneuma means the word pneumatology. Pneuma means spirit. So we send the spirit. Then to agion, as the agion is from the word agios, that's holy. So the holy. So this is the rough translation of this particular sentence. He will send the spirit, the holy. So now having it well, it becomes he will send the Holy Spirit. So this is the rough translation, but having it right, it becomes he will send the Holy Spirit. I said in Greek we have the rough translation and the smooth translation. So he will send the Holy Spirit. So this is an exercise under the future indicative of the Greek verb. So let's have a few others. Right, let's have another example. All right, so let's type in here. So we have oi susin, tous, anthropus, teis, mon. Oi susin, tous, anthropus, teis, mo. So and this is one word that's anthropus. So now let's translate to English. We have oi susin. This means they. Yeah. Now this is a product from the introduction of sigma to the word pharaoh. So now I said it's an exception case. So that's why we are not saying that's change the particular word. So it becomes pharaoh. So pharaoh means I bring or I carry. Yeah. Now when it comes to this, that shows they will bring or they will carry. They will bring or they will carry. Now, tous is an article that's plural, but the anthropos means men. You carry the men. Now, Theis is another article which talks about of the, so of the. Now, er, eremu, which means of desert or of wilderness, depending. So let's use